Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of That's Debatable. So, today we're going to be telling a story time. I don't think I've ever shared this one, but this one is definitely tumultuous. It's a little bit of a doozy, so we're just going to get right into it. So, when I first started the podcast, I started it off with the cruise story of my terrible travel experience. If you haven't watched that one, go watch it. It's when I got kicked off of a cruise ship, and I remember in that episode, I said I have never felt more down, or that was one of the moments that I just felt so out of it, and I felt like I gave up at a point because I was like, this is just too much. Like traveling is not fun, and I would be lying if I said that was the first time I felt like that because I don't want to put this out into the universe, but for whatever reason, anytime that I travel, no, I don't want to put that out. I don't want to put that out. Let me phrase it like this. I have had such bad travel experiences that I feel like any normal person would have been like, I'm never traveling ever again. But because I'm crazy, I'm like, no, it's okay. I'll give it a shot. Give it a shot. And I've never shared this story because honestly, again, it was just too long to put on the TikTok. And also, I shared it on my YouTube before I ever even had any type of followers. And it was a very poorly edited story time. I filmed it on my iPhone and I kind of like I did it more in like skit form, but here I'm just going to lay it all out. And this is the time that I got stuck in Colombia. And my family is from Colombia. I can speak Spanish. I can understand Spanish. But it's different when you're in distress and you're in a foreign country by yourself and this is your first time traveling by yourself. It was just a lot. And the way it started was my family wanted to go to Colombia. We usually go to visit every year. And this specific time, I just recently turned 18 years old. So I was like, ooh, I'm traveling with my sister. Yeah. My mom and dad went earlier. So they were already in Colombia by the time this happened. And we get to the airport. And oh my God, this story is like just giving me anxiety all over again because if like anytime, I feel like I say that all the time, but like y'all don't understand when I tell these stories, like it really just like brings up all these memories and all the feelings. And I feel like I'm right back in that place. And we get to the airport and we're on our way to our flight and we go to check in and we give our passports in. And the lady looks at me, gives my sister all her stuff, her boarding pass. She's good to go. You're fine. Give her my passport. She looks at it and she goes, baby, the passport's expired. I say, what? What do you mean my passport's expired? She goes, yeah, it's expired. I can't let you travel, especially internationally. Like, even if I let you out of the United States, once you get into Colombia, they're going to see that it's expired. And I was like, what do you mean it's expired? You're lying. And I look and yep, my passport was expired because I got it when I was a little girl. And again, I recently just turned 18. So you have to get a new passport. And I guess because we didn't look at it and my mom wasn't there and whatever, nobody knew until I got to that desk. And I started freaking the fuck out. I was like, what do you mean the passport's expired? What do you mean? Like, what can I do? Can I get a temporary one? Then like, this is me. Like, I don't know what else. I'm obviously a U.S. citizen. I have a passport. It's expired. Therefore, it means like I am a U.S. citizen. Like, please let me fly. And she's like, no, I can't let you fly today. Your sister can, but I can't let you fly. And I was like, oh my God, my whole family is going to go have an amazing time in Colombia and I'm going to be stuck in Jersey. The FOMO was at 1,000. I was like, I can't. I have the worst FOMO ever to a point where I can't say no. And it's terrible. It's like I've gone to therapy for it because I genuinely cannot say no. Like if everybody's hanging out, even if I don't want to, but if all my friends are hanging out, my whole family's hanging out, I have to be there. What if something crazy happens or what if they experience something and I'm not there? Now I'm not a part of your memory. Are you gonna forget about me? Like I have insane FOMO. So I was looking at my sister. My sister's like, I'm not missing my flight. Like I'm good to go. You're gonna have to figure this out yourself. Sorry, but I'm getting on this flight. So I have a panic attack in the middle of the airport. Bad places to have panic attacks, let me tell you. I start sobbing because now I'm like, holy fuck, it's 3:00 in the morning. I have all this luggage with me. I'm ready to go. I was so excited to go. Now I'm anxious because I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And I start sobbing at the desk. And when I get at that point, oh my God, I wasn't even that young. I was 18. I'm making it seem like I'm 12. When I get in, I have like I don't know what, I think it's called like trichotillomania or something like that. But I have a really bad thing of like picking at now it's picking at my eyelashes. I pick out my eyelashes so bad. Like you can probably tell on this one that like half of it is missing because I just like to sit there and like pick. And at that point, it was like my hair that I would pick, which I would have much rather prefer because there's more hair on my head than it is on my eyelid. But whatever, we're not talking about that right now. But I start freaking out. I start pulling my hair. And I'm like, ah, no. I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do? And I can't. My sister's like, oh my God, relax. You're doing too much. You need to take a chill pill. So we get on WhatsApp because obviously my mom is in Colombia. And we can't just call her regularly. And she goes, what happened? What happened? And I get on the phone. I'm like, Mom, I can't fly. And she goes, well, first of all, what the are you saying? She's like, get it together. Let's reel it back a little bit. What's wrong? And I was like, they're telling me my passport's expired. I can't fly. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm having a panic attack. Meanwhile, my uncle just walked in too. We didn't even know he was flying. He just walked in. He goes, hey, ladies, what are you guys doing? And I'm like, what the are you doing here now? I said, so now everybody's going? Now everyone's... And he's like, oh no, I'm not even... This just so happened we coincidentally walked in at the airport at the same time. I'm not going... No, we're not on a family trip here. He's like, is she okay? And my sister's like, no, she's not okay. She's having a whole breakdown right now. And the lady sees at the desk, she's actually very nice. She sees how stressed I am. And I look at her, I was like, I've never flown by myself. I've never flown anywhere by myself. I've never... Not even to like... No, I've never flown by myself. I was like, I don't want to fly by myself. I'm scared. Like, I know I'm 18 and I'm like a consenting adult, but I'm still a kid. Like, I'm still a baby. Like, I was like, I'm scared. I get really bad anxiety with stuff like that. And she's like, okay, here's what I can do for you. I can cancel this flight for you. And you would have to then buy a flight for tomorrow around 1 or 2 o'clock. I'm going to give you an address. Go to this address. It's a same day passport. You can get a passport that same exact day. But one thing she did warn me about, she goes, but this is like the DMV. If you don't get there early before they open, you're fucked. And you're going to have to wait there for a long time. You're going to miss your flight. Set your flight to 2 p.m. Get there at 5 o'clock in the morning. At that point, it's like, I think 1 a.m. or something like that. Get there at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's in the city. I live in Jersey. Wait, get that passport. The moment you get that passport, just come straight to the airport. I'll have somebody here for you. Tell them my name and she will take you on the plane. You know how they do that for little kids when little kids are flying and they're like, you'll give you like an assistant and you'll go with somebody. Yeah, I'm a grown ass adult. I'm 18 years old and I'm like, she's giving me that same thing, except I don't have to pay for it. Whatever. It was nice. She clearly saw I was in distress. And she's like, I will literally have somebody take you and put you on this flight. You will be okay. And I was like, okay. So I'll call my boyfriend. Oh my God, the sweetest man to ever exist is my boyfriend. There's 2 modes that I have. I have full breakdown panic attack and then I get angry. For whatever, I think I talked about this in another episode, but I've always, anger to me is the most comfortable feeling that I have. So I have a nasty attitude. I do. And I call him and he's like, I'm sleeping. Like, is everything okay? And I was like, no, not everything okay. I said, would I be calling you if everything was okay? No reason to act like that, Emily. No reason to act like that. He's whatever. So I tell him the situation and he was like, do you want me to come pick you up? And I was like, obviously I want you to come pick me up. No, I want you to stay here while I wait and get in a taxi and somebody else's random ass Uber and they rob me. And he's like, okay, this is crazy. So he picks me up like the sweet little baby that he is. And I tell him, I was like, I have to go to New York City to the same day passport and I have to wait online and I have to get that passport that same day. And I'm going to fly out tomorrow. I call my mom and my mom's like, I'll buy you another flight or I can pay for you to go to Disney because I was going to Disney a week after that. And keep in mind, this was also finals. So at that point, I was still in college and it was final season. But the time that I already took all the finals prior to, except I had one final to come home to, which was the day after I was supposed to fly back home from Colombia. And she was like, I'll pay for your flight to Disney because I was also a broke college student, as everybody is. And I spent my last dollar to go to Disney. I had maybe $100 in my bank account. And she's like, I can either pay for you to get this passport or I can pay for you to get, actually, I lied to you. The lady actually comped me my ticket because she was like, well, we'll just cancel this one. Use that to get the next one. My mom was like, I'll pay for you to get your passport or I'll pay for your ticket to go to Disney. I'll give you that money so that you can go and use it in Disney. And I was like, no, I don't want to miss out on a trip. Like, I want to go to Colombia. Like, everyone's over there. She's like, okay, whatever, fine. Then I'll help you pay for the passport. So I get to my house, and when I tell you that my anxiety just wouldn't let me sleep, and I just cried and cried and cried and cried. Why does everything happen to me? And everyone always thinks that I'm goddamn lying, and I'm not lying. Like, I promise you, there's so much trauma for no freaking reason. I guess it's for the story times. So I guess it's for moments like this so I can come and share these stories with you guys. But they're not fun in the moment. And I slept for maybe 30, 40 minutes because I also had to get a passport picture. And in order to get a passport picture, you can go to any like local Walgreens, CVS, wherever. But also it's 2:00 in the morning. So you tell me where I'm going to find a CVS of a Walgreens at 2:00 in the morning. Luckily, in Jersey, there is one 24-hour Walgreens. So needless to say, I look like a hot goddamn mess. I look like a hot mess. But I have to get this passport picture. So we go. And the guy at Walgreens looks at me, and I was like, I need a passport picture. And he was like, are you sure? And I was like, of course I'm sure. I was like, I need a passport picture. And he's like, okay, I guess. And I was like, but I need you to print it out today. He goes, yeah, that's fine. I take the picture. It is the ugliest picture it known to man. Like, if I show anybody my passport, they do like a double take every single time at the airport to be like, this you? And I'm like, yeah, that's me. That's me in a really bad time in my life right there, all right? Don't look at me too much, bitch. I swear to God. Anytime I show my family that picture, they start cackling. They're like, you look like a hot god mess. My mom framed it, put it up in her room. And I was like, I did not look great. But he took the picture, got the picture, whatever. So go to sleep, wake up at like 4 a.m. Not even. I think I got like 30 minutes of sleep. My poor boyfriend was like half dead. And he was like, I don't want to do this, but whatever, like, she's going through it right now. He takes me to New York City. This was around, when was it? I want to say like February. So it is brick degrees in New York City. It is freezing in New York City. And I have to wait outside of this like office area. Like, it literally looks like the DMV outside, and I have a cover over me and I'm shivering. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm literally going to die here. There was like 2 people ahead of me. And that's how I knew it's bad. If you get there like an hour and a half before they open, the people are waiting there, that's how you know it's going to be bad. And I'm the 3rd person in line, and me and my boyfriend are shivering. And I look at it, I'm like, I'm going to die. I think I'm going to die right now. Like, genuinely, I think I'm going to get hypothermia and I'm going to pass out on the floor because I need a passport. This is terrible. Like, I look like a hot mess. Look at this goddamn picture of me for my passport. This is what's going to be my passport for the next 10 years. Like, I'm traumatized by that picture alone. And now all of a sudden I'm freezing my off. And my friend's like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's like, let's just get this passport. Let's just get the passport. We wait the hour and a half. We get inside. Finally, we're getting through the whole process. Nobody told me that I thought if she said get there by 5 a.m., they open up at like 7. I thought I'd be done by like 10:30, 11. I got done by like past noon, like 12:31. My flight was at like 2:33. And I was like, oh my God, I'm sitting there. We watched all of Tangled, I think like twice. That's how freaking long it took. I could have watched The Notebook like 10 times and he still would have got that passport. And all you have to do is like hand in your information. They say, okay, give us a second, just sit down, wait. I sat down, I waited. I waited for what it felt like a millennium. Like, I was there for a hot minute. Finally got my passport. That was like $400. I was like, oh my God, like, this is a lot. I call my aunt. My aunt's like, I think she was supposed to be there too or something or whatever. No. My aunt was the one that dropped me off at the airport. And she's like, well, Emily, if you're having such a bad time, if you're having such bad luck getting there, maybe this is the universe telling you that you shouldn't go. And maybe this is the universe telling you that if you go there, things might get worse. Something might happen. Maybe you should just stay home. And my aunt's name is Maria. And I was like, Maria! I was like, why in the hell would you tell me? Because again, anger is the most comfortable feeling that I ever feel. I was like, why the hell would you ever tell me that? What the hell is wrong with you? I just stood in the god freezing cold Antarctica for no freaking reason. I was like, I'm going. Hang up the phone. She was right. I shouldn't have gone on that trip. I should have not gone on that trip. And my boyfriend takes me to the airport, and I go to the front desk. I give the little note that the lady wrote for me that morning, because I was there at 1 o'clock in the morning. And she's like, oh, okay. You need an assistant? How old are you? And I was like, oh my God, here we go. Not with the freaking ageism, bitch. Like, don't look at me too much. And I was like, I'm 18. She goes, well, this is usually for. I said, I know what it's usually for. I know what it's usually for. Talk to this girl. I need you to call her on the phone right now because she knows my situation. They call her, they explain it, and they're like, okay, well, here's your person. I'm walking around with one of like the attendants, and I'm old as hell, and they're like, okay, whatever. And I explained, I was like, I just have really bad like flight anxiety, whatever. Haha. Like, don't laugh at me too much because I punch you in the face. I'm not testing it right now. I'm really angry. My passport picture looks crazy. It's fine. And I get on the plane and I get to Colombia. Yay, we made it. That's it. And that's the end of the story, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming on That's Debatable. I wish. It got 10 times worse after that. I wish it was the end of the story. We're not even halfway through. Get there, living my best life. I'm there with my family, see my family. We have a good trip. Overall, the trip was really nice. It was really nice to be with my family. And then it comes time to go home. And again, I've never flown by myself until that point, but I was supposed to fly home with my dad. 2 days before the flight, I'm supposed to leave because keep in mind, I have a final to go home to. So it's not like I can extend my trip. My dad is like, my stomach hurts. And I was like, yeah, what's new? Congratulations, your stomach always hurts. My dad's stomach always hurts. And my stomach always hurts too. I get that from them. And I was like, you'll be fine. The next day he wakes up and we're supposed to fly out. And now he was like, no, actually my stomach really, really hurts. I have to go to the doctor. And I was like, the doctor in Colombia? I was like, oh my God, okay. Go off, I guess. I was like, what are you going to get? Like, okay, cool. Live your best life. The doctor tells him he has like a virus. So this man has a stomach bug. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, damn, that sucks. Maybe just take some Pepto-Bismol before the plane ride. Like, it is what it is. He goes, no, I can't fly like this. And I said, yeah, of course you can. If you need, you could buy the little Pepto-Bismol tablets. Just pop them. It's fine. You're doing too much now, Dad. Relax. He goes, no, I'm going to stay in Colombia. And I was like, well, I can't stay in Colombia. I was like, I have a final to go home to, so we have to go. He goes, no. I'm going to stay in Colombia. You're going to fly back home. I said, alone? And he was like, you'll be fine, Emily. You're 18. You're a grown-ass adult. I said, did you not realize that I have a flight attendant take me from JFK to the plane and sit me on the plane? Like, I'm a child. I'm not fully equipped for this yet. My mind is not fully developed. I can't do that. Especially in Colombia. I couldn't even do it in New York. And now I fly by myself all the time now, so don't everybody in the comments be like, this child. I fly by myself now. Relax. It was just that one time. And I was like, Dad, you have to get on this plane. And I'm not playing with you. You have to get on this plane. And he's like, nope, I can't do it. My stomach really hurts. And I was like, oh my God. And I have no choice but to go back. I have to take this final because if I don't take this final, I'm going to get a 0 for the final. And that's the majority of my grade. And I was like, oh my God. I'm stressed out. And he's like, it'll be fine, Emily. We'll take you all to the airport and we'll go. My family is from a very small part in Colombia and it's by the mountains. And whenever there is maybe one cloud in the sky, they close the whole airport down because of how small the airport is. And I'm like, okay, well, like this is terrible. So I go up there and, there's a couple clouds in the sky. And I'm like, no, it's fine. I get in there. They give me my boarding pass. I'm all good to go. And I'm like, okay, fine. Great. I just have to take this connecting flight from Manizales to Bogota. From Bogota, I fly back into JFK and I'll be good. I'm in the airport and my family won't leave until the plane leaves. Because I told them, I was like, do not leave until you see that plane in the sky. Do not. And even then, once you see it disappear, then you can go. Because you never know. And I'm waiting. I'm supposed to board my flight now. Still waiting. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. They're like, oh, guys, we're delayed by 10 minutes. Just give us a second. And I was like, okay, that's fine. 10 minutes turns into 25 minutes. And I'm like, yo, what the is happening? Like, I'm going to miss my connecting flight. Then on the intercom, it goes over. in Spanish. Sorry, everyone. We're closing the airport down. We can't fly out of here. We can't fly out of this airport. The clouds are too. It's the sky is too cloudy. We can't see anything. Sorry, sucks to suck. We're closing the airport down. I say, what do you mean they're closing the airport down? Like, this is no. How am I supposed to get to Bogota? Like, I have to. What do you mean? Where do I fly out of then? So I come back. I tell my mom what happened, and obviously, again, I speak Spanish, but if I'm in Colombia, they very much know I'm American. But if I'm talking Spanish over here, they very much know I'm Colombian. So weird imbalance there. But in Colombia, I'm puro gringa. Like they're like, yeah, we know she's American. So my mom is doing all the talking for me because she was born there, born and raised. And they're like, okay, listen, the only option that we can give her is she can fly out of Pereira, which is right next door. But not right next door. It's like an hour and a half bus ride, 2 hour bus ride, and she can fly out of that one because that's a bigger airport and they have more of a chance to be able to do it. But right now we're closing this whole airport down for the day. So I look at my mom and I'm like, you mean to tell me you're going to put me on a bus to a different area in Colombia by myself? I said, are you crazy, Mom? And I'm not here to talk my country. I'm not. But I'm not from there. And you can very much tell I'm not from there. I have a Kate Spade backpack on. And something I always tell people when they go visit Colombia or anything in like South America or like Dominican Republic, depending on where you go, you have to be very pendiente, or what's that word? Very aware of your surroundings. Just like you would be in New York City. If you're out here flashing like your $40,000 chain, someone's gonna try to swipe you in the wrong place. If you are in the wrong place of New York, that's just the truth of the situation. Same thing in Colombia, but the difference is that I'm not from Colombia. They can very much tell by what I'm wearing. They can very much tell by the way I speak my Spanish that I'm almost like a walking target and not something to feel comfortable about. So my mom's like, and my mom agrees. She's like, I agree. We're going to take my uncle James. Oh my God, his name is James in English, but we only call him James. So that's how I'm going to refer to him. But she's like, we'll have James go with you, and my uncle James knows everybody and their mom. He makes friends with anybody. Like, he born and raised Colombia, still lives in Colombia. Never left Colombia, always been there. So he's like, of course, I'll take la niña. Of course. Like, no problem. What do you mean? You're not going to have her go alone? No. Como así? Like, and I was like, okay. Yeah, I feel safe with him, whatever. So we're on the bus ride there. And the whole time I'm anxious because I'm like, oh my God, I have to make this flight because if I don't make this flight, I'm like, I can't miss this final. So we get to Pereira. I'm with my uncle. Finally, I board and I get on the plane. And I'm on the plane from Pereira to Bogota. Bogota is the capital of Colombia. And that is where the international airport is. So if you're most likely not flying into Colombia, that's where you most likely than not will fly into. We have other ones, but that's the biggest one. And I get to Bogota and my uncle James waves me goodbye, gives me my kisses, and I'm on my way. And I'm in Bogota. And now I was like, okay, finally. We're in the final stretch now. It doesn't matter. All I have to do is wait for my flight to board. And then I'm on that plane and I'm back in the United States. Easy, right? I get to Bogota. I'm standing there. I'm by myself. My mom, I didn't really have any money. So my mom had to give me pesos because I only had American cash on me. I didn't have any pesos. So my mom only gave me, she's like, oh, just take this because you're not going to be there long. So she gave me the equivalent of like $15 in American dollars, like $15. But in pesos, it's a lot more. So I'm like, whatever, it's fine. It is what it is. It's cool. It's dandy. I'm waiting. I'm eating a cheeseburger. I'm like, okay, I was like, ooh, I feel kind of grown not being in the airport by myself. I was like, damn, I'm here eating a cheeseburger. I paid with pesos. Like, I felt very grown. I was like, you know what? I did it. And I'm proud of myself. And this is a good accomplishment. And I think now I can fly by myself. So I go to my gate. I sit down. I know we're supposed to start boarding in 20 minutes. Okay. I'm waiting. 30 minutes pass. I say, ooh, wow. They're a little late, but okay. Maybe they're on Latino time. You know what it is. I'm late to everything. So I'm like, well, maybe it's that. 40 minutes pass. I said, okay. Now this is not just being late. This is disrespectful. I was like, this is a little crazy now. I was like, okay, whatever. 45 minutes pass. I say, what the is happening here? I'll go up to the desk and I'm like, excuse me, are we getting on this plane or are we not getting on this plane? We're supposed to be in the air by now. And she's like, no, it's delayed. Just give us a second. We're just like waiting for something. And Oh my God. I don't know what it is. And I'm going to say the airline because I don't care. Every single time I go there, it's always beef. Avianca, I'll say it again. Avianca, every single time I fly with them, garbage. Every single time. Every time. I don't understand like why. They traumatize me to my core. And she goes, finally an hour passes. Everyone's asking what's happening. And they're like, the flight is canceled. And now this is a red eye. So I'm like, what? The flight is canceled? What the hell? Like from Colombia to here, it's like a 6.5 hour flight. And I'm like, I still have room to have a flight canceled to make my final, but I don't have that much room. So I'm like, I have room for it to be delayed like canceled until like another hour or something, but not another day. And I go out to the desk. I'm like, it's canceled. When is the next flight? And she goes, the next flight isn't until tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. I said, babe, it's midnight. I'm supposed to stay in this airport for how long? And Bogota is one of the most, I think, again, y'all can fight with yourselves. There's obviously other places of Colombia that are very dangerous, but Bogota is very dangerous because of the fact that it is an international airport and a lot of people fly in from there. So it's just not one of the safest places to be. And I'm like, tomorrow morning, what? Here we go again. Waterworks, sobbing, panic attack, hair being pulled out. Now I have to call my mom, but I don't have service because I'm in Colombia and I don't have an international plan. I feel like at this point we should have learned from the Europe story that we probably should get an international plan because this happens to us all the time. So now I'm having to buy Wi-Fi in this airport and I'm trying to WhatsApp my mom. And I'm like, Mom, they canceled my flight. And my mom's like, oh my God, out of all the people you cancel a flight on, Emely should have been the last because holy fuck, she's going to freak out. So, and that's exactly what I did. I started freaking out. And I was like, she's like, okay, we'll just wait for the next one. I said, the next one is until 7 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, Mom. I was like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just sleep in the airport? Like, I have all my shit with me. I have a laptop with me. I have my phone with me. I have my headphones. I have my Kate Spade backpack. Mom, I feel like a walking Target. And I also I just spent the last money that I had on a cheeseburger. I was like, I didn't know I was going to be here for longer than like an hour. And I was like, so I don't have any pesos. I only have American dollars. And look how crazy it's going to look if I go to try to give somebody an American dollar. Like, come on, girl. Like, have a little bit of common sense. That looks crazy. And she's like, okay. Let me talk to the flight attendant. So I'm like, can you talk? I was like, can you talk to my mom? And at this point, she was talking to me in English because she knew English. And she's like, no, I can't. I'm busy. And I was like, I need you to speak to her because I don't think that we're understanding each other. And I just need you to speak to her. And she's like, no, get somebody else. So somebody else comes up. They're trying to explain it to me in English, but she has a little bit more of a broken English. So she tries to explain it to me in Spanish. And she's like, do you know Spanish? I said, I understand Spanish, yeah. But I'm also in the middle of a crisis right now. So I don't think my Spanglish is not so good looking right now. So I'm like trying to gather the words to speak to her in Spanish, but she's not really understanding me. I'm flustered. So I'm like, what are you saying to me right now? So I'm like, please just talk to my mom. So then I was like, can you get me somebody that speaks English? Like I was just talking to somebody that knew how to speak English. I just need to like communicate with somebody that I need to come home, but I'm not able to do it in the best possible way in Spanish right now. And she goes, no, we don't have anybody that talks in English. I don't know who you talk to. They probably didn't work here. I said, she was wearing an Avianca pin. I said, I saw her, please. And then she's like, no, sorry, we don't have anybody. If you can't speak Spanish, then you shouldn't have come here. Whoa. You're a little crazy, bitch. Relax with the goddamn attitude. I don't like it. Don't do it to me because I'll do it to you. So I was like, oh, okay, well, let me get you somebody that does speak Spanish. So I was like, talk to her. And I just hand her my phone. And my mom starts ripping her a new one. And she's like, get her somebody that speaks English. You don't see that she's like lost. Da, da, da. You guys just canceled the flight. And then obviously they're arguing back and forth in Spanish now. And the lady, my mom pulls if you're not going to get her somebody to assist her because she's having a hard time understanding what's happening, get me the manager then. Because essentially what they told my mom and what they did not tell me, what they told me was you have to stay in the airport till 7 o'clock in the morning. And I said, I'm not staying in this airport for 7 hours. Like, that's crazy. So what they told my mom was, well, we're taking everybody on a shuttle and we're going to take them to a hotel in Bogota and they're going to stay in a hotel. And we're going to have everybody share rooms because we don't have enough rooms for everybody there. So I'm by myself. So I have to share a room with a random stranger? No. Ridiculous. That's not happening. Think of whatever you want of me. Think I'm like pretentious, but that's scary. I don't want to share a room with somebody that I don't know in a country that I don't know too well, especially in Bogota. I've never been to Bogota except for in the airport. So my mom's like, absolutely not. You're not going to put her in a room with somebody like a random stranger. What do you put her in a room with a man? Like, no, that's no. Like that's no, not doing that. So then she's like, well, that's what it's going to take, whatever. My mom yells at her, get me the manager. I need a manager. I need the manager that's on the shift. I don't care. I need to talk to somebody. We need to figure this shit out. Lady comes over and the manager gets on the phone with my mom. I literally sound like a little kid, but I promise you, I was just, I have just terrible anxiety when it comes to this shit. Like, I've flown to Colombia alone since then, but like at that moment, I was just scared. And the lady was like, oh yeah, what do you need? She's like, can you please get her like an English translator, somebody that can explain it to her, because I'm explaining it to her and she's asking me questions and I'm the middleman. Just get her somebody that can speak English. She understands Spanish 110%, but like, again, I'm literally having a mental breakdown. Again, I'm trying to get the words out, but I can't express myself the same way that I can in English than I can in Spanish. Obviously, it's two different languages. They got me somebody. And the manager was actually really nice. She goes, yeah, of course. Like, I can see she's in distress. Like, it's totally fine. I'll get her somebody. So then they get me somebody, and I'm explaining to her that I need to get out on the fastest flight out of here before 7 a.m. because I have a final the next day, and I can't miss this final. If I miss this final, I fail the class. And if I fail the class, like, this is college. It's not like you got to go to summer school. No, you pay for it, and then I have to pay for it again. So she's like, okay, listen, I can't do anything for you, but I can take you on the shuttle, and we can tell them at the hotel, we'll give you your own room, whatever, this, that, and the third. I'm freaking out. And I'm like, oh my God. I don't want to go on a shuttle. I don't want to like go to like this hotel. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But if that's what I have to do, that's what I have to do. And I guess in the midst of that, I feel like I have like all these different angels coming in to save me, because some lady that was also on the same flight with me comes over because I'm crying, and she's like, are you okay? And I was like, no. I'm really like, I'm overwhelmed right now. Like, I'm trying to communicate in 2 different languages right now, and I'm getting like, I don't know what's happening. So the lady's like, you know what? I'm flying by myself. I have a daughter your age. She goes, how old are you? And I said, oh my fucking God. I was like, here we go. With a embarrassing. I was like, I'm 18 years old. And luckily she goes, my daughter's 19. And she would be a mess, and I wouldn't want her to fly alone. So it's okay. I'll be your mother. Essentially, she became my mother. Still don't know what her name is, but props to that lady. And I'm like, okay, sure. So we go on the shuttle together, and we're sitting there. She's like talking to me. She's very motherly. Like, I genuinely felt like she was my mom. I was like, wow, like, this is very nice. Like, thank you for this. This is great. And she's like, I'll walk you to the hotel room. I'll make sure that they don't put you with anybody else. Like, at the end of the day, that's dangerous. Like, you don't want to stay. Like, even she's like, I understand. Like, we just met. Even I wouldn't tell you to share a room. Like, it's fine. We'll put you in your own separate room. I'll walk to that room. You go in, and I'll have the room right next to you. Then when I wake up, I'll knock on your door. We'll come out. We'll do this together. It'll be okay. Because I'm fully looking like a hot mess in this airport again. Like, I'm looking like a hot mess in JFK, and I'm looking like a hot mess in Bogota International Airport. Like, I can't win here. And that's exactly what happens. So I tried to email my professor. He doesn't answer me. And I'm like, okay. So I wake up, and I didn't sleep. And it just so happened that when I got to the hotel room, there's a video of me, and I'll like post it up, of me looking like a hot goddamn mess. My face is like inflamed with all the crying that I was doing. So my face is like all chubby. And I also, right when I got into the hotel room, I got my period. So, I mean, hey, double whammy. Wham, wham, thank you, ma'am. Like, I was doing bad.
All I want to do is just go home. My flight's been canceled twice, and I'm in a random hotel in Bogota, and and I'm alone, and I just really want to go home. I want to go back to the States.
And I didn't have a change of clothes. I didn't have anything. Because again, put all my luggage away. Didn't have a toothbrush, didn't have anything. And also I have a phobia of hotel beds. So I didn't have my covers. I don't go anywhere without my covers. Again, I have a huge phobia of hotel beds. I don't know why, but I don't like to sleep in them. So I bring my own covers and I put a cover on top of it. And then I have another cover that I sleep with. And the cover isn't like one that covers a whole bed. It's like a little small little cover. So I'm sleeping like this, but I don't have it. So I can't sleep on the bed. I can't even sit on the bed. So I grab my jacket. I take because I'm wearing like a shirt like this. I take it off and I place it on the couch that's there, and I sit in the couch like this. And I have another, my backpack is on top of me because I don't like to touch the back of it either. I don't know. I feel like it's like a germaphobe thing. I don't know. But I sit on the couch. My sweater is underneath me. My backpack is on, and I just sit there for 4 hours. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like trying to doze off, trying to sleep. And there's a whole bed right in front, right, like 2 feet from me. And that just goes to show like how bad of like, I don't care. I don't have my covers. I can't even sit on that bed. I can't. So I'm sitting like this on the couch for 4 hours, and I'm just like delirious at this point. And I'm like trying to doze off. I'm trying to like sleep like this. Like I'm literally, like I'm reenacting an airplane thing because I'm like making sure, but I'm waking up every like couple minutes because I want to make sure that I don't like touch any surface that isn't mine. Like I don't want to touch anything outside of the sweater that I'm sitting on, and my backpack. My hands have to be over here because I can't touch the back of this because I just get scared. And this couch is fine. That's why I've been like, laying all about. I think it's something with hotel beds. I don't know. It's something with hotel rooms in general. But so I'm literally like this and waking up every like second to like adjust myself to make sure that I'm okay. Whatever. 7:00 comes around. I check my phone. My professor emails me and he's like, listen, delays in flights happen all the time. It's okay. I'll give you an extension. Can you show up this day? Which is the next day. And I said, yeah, of course. I'm supposed to take a flight at 7:00 in the morning. I should be more than good. He goes, okay, fine. I'll extend it. This will be your last extension, though. I said, no problem. No problem. Sitting in the living room, sitting on this hotel bed, literally like this. And then I'm just waiting for the lady to knock on my door to tell me, like, we got to go. And I'm like, I hear it. She knocks. I said, thank God. I was like, thank God, I couldn't do this anymore. I was like, I literally couldn't do this anymore. I was going crazy in this room. Like, I don't have my chancla, so I can't take a shower. So I'm kind of doing like a half-ass shower where like I put the towel down in the shower and I'm doing like one of these so I don't touch the shower ground with my actual bare feet. I know it's crazy. I'm nuts. I understand it. Like, it's a phobia. I don't know. And lady knocks. She opens the door. She goes, let's go down to the shuttle. They're taking us back to the airport. I said, okay, great. Awesome. I get into the shuttle, and immediately when I open the door and I go to like sit down, some girl in English, because she's also American, she was flying to New York as well. Everybody, by the way, that was with me was flying back to New York. She goes, they delayed our flight. Panic. I'm like, what do you mean they delayed our flight? They delayed our flight till 10 a.m. I said, okay, that's not terrible. It's 7:00 in the morning, or we're supposed to leave at 7. 10 a.m. is fine. That's fine. She's like, hopefully, and the lady I'm with is like, hopefully they don't delay it again because that's a bad time with Avianca. If they delay it once, they're going to cancel it. And I'm like, oh God, please God, no. We start going, whatever, cool, great, dandy. We get to the airport. She checks again. They canceled the flight. Now people are rioting. And when I tell you people are furious, I'm seeing people throw at the Avianca people because the Avianca people are so fucking nasty. They're so nasty, so rude, so like attitude all the time. And people are freaking the hell. And somebody else had like a connecting flight and they were stuck in the airport for 3 days. So they were going crazy and they're like, get us on a flight. We don't give a put us on JetBlue, put us on Delta. We don't care. Just get us out of here. And everybody's freaking out. And I'm like, they canceled the flight. So now I go and I'm trying to talk to the lady. And because the woman I was with, my other mother, not Coraline, my other mother, except she wasn't trying to kill me. She was genuinely trying to save me. My other mother is like talking to the people and She's telling them she has a test to take. Finally get there, whatever. The lady's like, listen, the next flight out is going to be around like 2-3 p.m. And she's like, perfect, just put her on that flight. Just make sure she gets home today. She has to get home today. She has a test tomorrow. We then continue to go. I'm waiting there. I'm nervous. I'm sitting. I'm eating Wendy's. My other mother bought me Wendy's. And I'm just chilling. All of a sudden, 1 o'clock comes around, they cancel my flight. Oh my God. Oh my God. That point, they say, we're not going to have any flights out until tomorrow now. Whoa. I can't get stuck here again. I can't get stuck here again. So then now I fully start to have a panic attack because now I email my professor and I'm like, they canceled my flight again. And at this point, he was not being gracious and kind. And he was like, all right, well, sucks to suck. You get a 0 on the final. And I was like, this was my public speaking teacher too. Which, by the way, I was killing in public speaking, so I don't know why he was going crazy with me like that. But I had to go in to present, so it wasn't like he could just send me something. I had to go in and do a presentation. And he's like, if you're not here to present, I can't give you a grade. And I was like, but I did so well. I went on the public speaking competition for you. Like, I did amazing. Like, he goes, I can't. You have to figure it out. Cancel my flight. I think they canceled my flight again after that. And I get stuck there. I get stuck in the airport. I'm sitting there and I'm stuck for another night. And the level of distress, and I just gave up. I literally gave up, and my whole family's calling me because they're like, oh my God, she's stuck in Colombia and she hasn't left yet. And it's been 2 days now. And she's stuck in this airport back and forth from shuttle to hotel to this to this. And all they gave me was a $150 voucher. Me and my dad, because my dad was supposed to be on the flight too. So it seems like he's there. So I have $300 voucher, I guess, if you include my dad's. And I don't, honestly, if I'm going to be honest with you, the end of the story is a blur to me because I gave up. I gave up. And I was like, I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. Like, I'm stuck here. I don't have any money. I don't have any of my like toiletries. I can't even buy. I don't even have my money to buy toiletries because they don't take American dollars. So the lady ended up having to buy me like a toothbrush and shit because I was like, girl, I can't go this long without you crazy. And the end of it is just like a blur. I just remember being there, and also I don't have any covers. So I was like, why am I going to go stay in a hotel room, take up a hotel room if I'm not even going to sleep in the hotel room? I don't. I'll just sit here in this seat and just wait and rot and die in this seat because I guess I'm dying here. I think this is what's happening. And as this is happening, the commotion of other people on the same flight are starting to get super aggressive with the people that are the attendants that are there. And they're like, this is ridiculous. Like, you can't treat people like this. Like, some people don't even have money. And I was like, I don't have any money. I don't have any money. That's me. They're adding me. They're subtweeting. I have no money. I can't even afford to buy myself food. I have somebody else buying me food out of the kindness of her heart. But if I didn't have her, I wouldn't have any food. So you're not even giving us water. Like, I just blacked out. I honestly don't even remember all of it. I just remember feeling a defeat. And I just sat in that seat for I don't even know how long. But it felt like days of just me sitting in that seat and just watching people argue and fight and throw and every single time they'd be like, all right, we have a flight, put it up on the screen. 30 minutes would pass. Flight is delayed. Flight is canceled. Flight is done. And it was that. Ultimately, I just sat there, and then again, the little thing popped up and it said, all right, we have a flight out that's going to leave in an hour. I had no hope. I was like, I'm just going to stare at this and it's going to say canceled. I would say got on the flight and I got home. And luckily, I think that day I walked straight into my final to give my presentation and I looked like a hot fucking mess. And he was like, are you okay? And I was like, no, I'm not okay. I'm defeated. I got stuck in an airport for like what it felt like years. I had no money. I had no food. I had nothing. I had this kind lady who I don't even know her name is because I forgot to ask what her name is. I was fighting in Spanish and English. If I had a third language, I probably would have been fighting that one too. I was like, but I don't, I don't have anything else to give. And this is the presentation. And the guy, my professor was like, ooh, okay, you know what? Matter of fact, you just come back. You come back. You get yourself together. Like it seems like you've had a couple rough days. And I was like, I did. And he's like, just come back. It's fine. Like, I appreciate the dedication, but I'm not going to give you a 0. Just come back tomorrow. And took the final, aced it. Great. Yay. But my aunt picked me up too. Ask me how. It's just like shit gets I'm defeated, right? I'm defeated. My aunt picks me up. She has my little cousin in the back. My little cousin's like causing a whole scene. And she's like talking to me. She's like, I told you you shouldn't have gone. And at that point, I'm off. I'm like, why would you even say that to me? Like, can you just leave me alone for 5 seconds? Like, you don't see that I'm like traumatized right now? You don't see that I'm like, I literally look like a hot mess. My face is swollen. I had like a choker, and the choker is like bulging out because of how inflamed my face was. And then my little cousin ends up throwing up in the backseat. Ends up throwing up, vomiting all over the place. Now it smells like vomit in this. She has to pull over. My aunt is furious now. I'm furious. I was like, I just want to go home. Like, this is not what I wanted to do. And yeah, it's crazy that as I'm telling this story, I realized the end of it is like a complete blackout. Like, it just felt like days were passing. I don't even know how long I was actually in the airport for. I couldn't even tell you. It literally just felt like one of those like scenes where it's like somebody's just sitting down and like things are just passing by in front of them. And it was just that. And I was like, I've given up. I don't even want to. And even, I know everyone's like, you should have just stayed in the hotel room. There's no reason to. It just makes me even sadder. I was just like, I can't even sleep in this bed. My own phobia. And I did try. I did try, and I fully had a panic attack the moment that I tried to do like one of those of like, I was like, first sit and maybe let's try to. And the moment like my arm got a little close, I was like, oh my God. I was like, I can't. Full panic attack, started crying, realized I was like, I can't do this. Today's not the day to face my fears. Sorry, it wasn't. But yeah, I don't even know. All I know is I just got home and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to Colombia for a hot second. And I didn't go to Colombia for like the next like year and a half. And then I went back. It was better now. But yeah, traveling for me has been a little tumultuous. I don't know why. It's always something with me. Even recently, I got stuck on an airplane with no air conditioning for 2 hours. That was recent. That was like 2-3 weeks ago. No, and when I tell you, I thought I was gonna pass out, and I couldn't. Like, I thank God I had water because I felt so dehydrated. My whole shirt was wet. It was disgusting. I was stuck on the airplane for like 2-3 hours. Yeah. So I don't know what it is with traveling. Maybe it's like the universe telling me like, you're not that travel girl. But like, I like to go on trips. I like to have fun. But there's always something that happens that I'm just like, and for what? And for why? And this time it was me getting stuck in Colombia with no money, no food, no nothing. Just my backpack and my sweater. And my dignity. Actually, not even, because my dignity was lost after that. I had to recoup my dignity after that one. That one was really bad. And then Europe happened, and then I got kicked off of a cruise ship. So it is what it is, I guess. But it's not going to stop me from traveling. Yeah, I never shared that story before. I shared it early on my YouTube, but never on my TikTok because I realized I don't know the end of it that well. Because I've genuinely, which I think speaks volumes on the story of how just down and out I was, of just not even being able to like recount exact things. It's just one big blur, one big blackout of just like, oh, now I'm on a plane. Luckily, I got my own row though. That was great. That was amazing. But all I know is like, I just sat there. Next thing you know, I'm on a plane. Next thing you know, my cousin's throwing up in the back seat. So, I mean, hey. But yeah, that was the story for today. That one was that happened like 6-7 years ago, I think. So, I mean, we've gotten a little bit better about traveling. We carry money with us. Whatever the currency is of that country, I have it. If not, I have a card. But yeah, I was 18. It wasn't that long. It was like 5 years ago. I lied to you guys. But yeah. Guys, if I'm ever going on a trip, y'all gotta just manifest good energy for me because goddamn, I don't know what is up with me. And it always happens to me. It's always me. But that's it for today's episode. I will see you guys next time. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. This was a never before told story time. And yeah, a little tumultuous, but hey, we got through it. And now I know my ins and out of the Bogota International Airport in Colombia. So I guess that's a win. But yeah, I'll see you guys for the next episode. Comment, like. You guys already know what to do. Bye.